Welcome. It's October 12th, 2023, on a wonderful fall day. And we bring you this show from the LTV studios, and as it said, dedicated to Bill Fleming with this. I think LTV is the studio that made Bill Fleming famous. A quick thank you to Ellen Watson for her patience in getting us a time slot today. I think Yalta would have been easier to do. Also, Hudson, Zach, Jody, and Esley. Thank you for filming us and keeping us in line and showing us what we need to do to get this show going. Fellas, this is Jeff Miller, Alex Walter.
Claude?
Thank you. Very interesting season. And I think I wanted to start with the rule changes to start out and how it affected the seasons in certain teams. So we'll start with the pitch clock. How do you feel that went?
I liked it a lot. I don't have to stay up and watch a 4-hour baseball game and get done at like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I think it was a good rule change, kept the batters in the batter's box, and moved the game right along.
There was a statistic that said that games used to be 3 hours and 4 minutes, and this cut it to 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it really is 24 minutes a game. And also I think it probably affected so many things with batters and pitchers, as you said. Anything you want to add to that, or are you good?
No, I pretty much nailed it.
Okay. Bases being bigger. Pizza boxes got bigger, so what do you think?
I don't have any idea why they did that,
Well,
to be honest with you.
Do you have any idea?
Supposedly, it was a safety issue. If you're going to go to that extreme, why don't they put the safety base at first base?
Yeah. Well, I think that it has really increased stealing.
It's amazing. It's a 6-inch difference
Yeah.
from first to second.
Right.
And that 6-inch measurement has increased stolen bases dramatically.
Well, and the percentage of safe, it was used to be 74%, and now it's 80.
Yeah.
So it really is, some teams have really made it part of their, instead of hitting home
Yeah,
runs.
that fellow from Philadelphia keeps throwing them out though.
Yes, he's really, Miami, right? Did he come from Miami?
He did.
Yeah.
But he always wanted to be with the Phillies.
He did.
Yeah.
That's as a child.
Like Alex, always wanted to be with the Phillies.
I think did they take his journal when he was in the 11th grade and read about how it was?
Tried to get him from the, Hammond and Gay staff, pitcher. Tried to
I remember that.
convert him.
He was
Let's get back to
almost for a 6-pack to be named later, but that wasn't enough for Hammond and Gay in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Infield shifts.
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it really skewed the batting averages, for all the years that they, probably the last 5 years, 6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for the life of me, I can't understand their professional baseball players that they couldn't just be able to place the ball and beat the shift.
Yeah, that was
They're
my
professional
deal.
players.
Boggs, Gwynn,
We had little leaguers that could do that.
Ted Williams.
Rod Carew, any of these guys that,
But the answer is everybody wants to hit home runs. That's where you make the money. So.
And we discussed Schwarber before we even came on the air. Here's a guy he hit 48, but he hit less than 200 as a leadoff batter.
Not quite sure. Now look, they're in pretty good shape right now.
Yes.
With him as that, so they're not going to change anything. But maybe I'll put a call into Rob Thompson when the season's over and say, what are we doing?
I mean, I can understand his counterpart on the other team, Acuna. The fact that,
'cause he can run.
look, he can run.
He can run.
Yeah, he's 40 and 70, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
First time.
And he
Yes,
hit,
it is.
and he hit 337 on top of it.
And who was it that some player back then said, "Man, if I knew that was a goal, I could have done that." Well, the other thing is that the batting averages went up 5 points that way, and also that the runs went from 8.6 to 9.2. So there were definitely more.
Yeah.
And
Not the Yankees runs though.
Oh my God, we'll get to them. I was also going to say the pickoff limitations was kind of.
I like it. Once
Well,
again, it's
that's
another
That's
byproduct of.
Yeah, but that's a tough one because once you've thrown over once, what's to keep that runner,
From just
somewhat close
spinning
to the
out,
base?
yeah.
So I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there were a lot of wasted throws that, especially when you had that guy in the bullpen, they were waiting to bring in and he
Yeah.
just kept throwing over to first base to, from a time constraint, I think it's a,
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have that strong an opinion. I just thought, wasn't sure why they had to do that, but.
and
It's
the
fine.
the last one is looking to next year is the Hernandez rule of a RoboCop. So I knew I had to bring that up, and that, but there in what they call it, the ABS,
You're
Atlantic
talking about
Baseball
the
League.
the
electronic
box,
box.
yeah.
Well, last night it hurt the Twins for two reasons. At the end of the game, that was a ball. That was a ball.
Oh, the third strike there.
Yeah, that would have been brought up. That would extend the game. But also, they got thrown out on a ball that was inside, and they threw the guy out at second. It was a double play. Whereas another ball four, so they would have had first and second.
I understand there's gonna be missed calls, but,
Right.
the game of baseball with umpires, there's a history full of missed calls. Look at Dan Denkinger, a cup, but, and I agree with the instant replays where they can look at certain things, and I think that's fine, that's an improvement, but not having an umpire calling balls and strikes, I just don't, it's part of the fabric of the game. Who are they gonna come out and argue with?
Yeah, exactly. You don't get enough in your life. You want to. Hey, did you have to call balls and strikes as an umpire at the Travis Field?
I was always out in the field, so it was good.
Good. Yeah.
But no, there's a mat there. If it hits the mat, it's a strike.
Have you seen it now? Have you seen it? The
I don't know what the change of rules at softball field are.
There's a
Explain it,
mat
sir.
there behind home plate. The ball hits the mat, it's a strike.
So, okay, might as well have the computer box there.
Well, I mean, it kind of,
we can set up something with string.
the mat is there. If the ball hits the mat,
Yeah, I mean, I've umpired my share of Little League games and things, and, it's kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
And being a base umpire is not that much fun, but being a home plate umpire is kind of fun. I'd hate to see that taken away from the game.
All right. How about really quickly? We'll get to Harper and Hernandez on the call. Check swing.
Oh, boy.
And everybody's.
But this is he's a repeat. Angel
Right.
Hernandez is the fact that the union allows him to continue on year after year as he is at the bottom of the rankings year after year. It's not like it's just like he makes a bad call now and then. He is continuously at the bottom of the rankings every year.
And they rank them for a purpose. And the
Yeah.
purpose is to try to take out the umpires that don't do a good job and replace them
Yeah.
with the up and comers that will do a much better job. So I don't get why he's.
You know why.
He
We
threatened
all
the
know why.
Latino.
Well,
He pulls the race card and
Okay.
But I was shocked that everybody thought it was a great idea for Harper to throw his helmet in the stand.
Well, the guy who caught the helmet, it thinks
He got it signed and everything.
Yes, I think
Bryce
they
Harper's
did he
helmet.
give it to the kid or to his son or something? Or
I
I don't know. That was crazy. I mean, I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I saw Correa broke his helmet last night
last
after
night.
he struck out.
Well, that's the big thing. The last guy who took the third strike, Correa was next, because they were saying he made the last out of an inning and there were 3 innings to go, and he might not get up if they go through and just do, anyway. You enjoying the playoffs?
Well, right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about tonight, but I'm enjoying it very much.
I was telling them, did you watch the other night with the end of the game with Atlanta and
With the
and
what?
and Philly?
No.
Did you see it?
Oh! You mean when
Catching.
when he made the catch in center field?
Yeah.
I did see that. Yes.
And-
No,
And that was not Harper's fault, dude. It was, in
think
my
he shoulda-
opinion,
I
no.
think he
He was
shoulda-
being aggressive, and 2 excellent plays were made
Yeah.
to get him out at first.
No, I think
don't
he
have
should've
I
stopped
don't
at
have a
second.
problem with it. I thought it was a home run.
Yeah.
With the way the guy was running for the fence there,
Yeah.
I'm thinking home run, we just went back ahead. So, once he caught the ball, it was deflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so next guy probably wasn't gonna hit a home run, so. I mean,
Well,
I was okay with Harper doing that, but,
I think he just went too far. I think he
Yeah.
should have stayed around second a little bit
Yeah,
more.
maybe.
And then because if that ball would have hit the wall, he could have scored from there.
yeah.
But it's the way he plays, and
Yeah, he's an aggressive guy, and
How
you know
about-
what? turned out to be a bonus for the Phillies.
I
Because
guess so.
somebody made a comment
Yeah.
in the
A carry.
dressing room
Did you
about
see it?
I see it, yeah.
attaboy Harper.
Yeah.
And did you see him stare him down
It is there.
when he hit the home runs yesterday?
And now there's a big thing about, I guess, what's said in the locker room should stay in the locker room, and some reporter heard him say it, not to just out loud, and then got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what's in the
Yes.
locker room
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that never was before.
You did ask what I thought of the playoffs. Here's an
Okay, yeah,
interesting
yeah,
little
keep it-
fact I heard today.
All right.
Any team that has won 92 or more this year is 1-12 in the playoffs.
Wow. No, it's
Phillies won 90.
Yeah.
They're 5-1.
And that's what I heard. Any team that has won 92 or more are 1-12.
yeah.
I honestly think that the number one seed sitting around for 5 or 6 days is not good.
Well, the number 1 and number 2 seeds, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
You saw it last year.
Flat is
You know, the Mets were the number
It's
2
flat
seed,
as
they
the
lost.
sea at low tide.
yeah, okay.
Okay, just don't.
Kevin
let it-
Loris had a different saying for
I'm
me, and
sure
I
he
won't
did
use
have-
that.
yes, just don't get junior highs involved with it.
Yeah, no, it was yeah, the Astros came. I mean, the Braves came out flat in Game 1 against
Dodgers,
and-
the starting pitchers.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
Third inning.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it. I mean, what do you?
and you know they're gonna
Robert-
hang this handle on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You remember the one they did win was COVID year,
Yeah.
and people are still gonna. You know, as much talent and as much
But-
same handle the Braves had to deal with in the '90s.
But the
Yeah.
Dodgers, Kershaw has been one of the greatest pitchers in Major League history.
Yep.
And he's got numbers to back it up. He is
13-13
he's terrible
in the postseason.
comparatively
Yeah.
in the postseason.
Yeah, he is a 500
He got,
pitcher.
they gave up 6 runs and got 1 out in the first inning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And Sonny Gray, pitching for Minnesota, I think he reverted right to his Yankee days. You know,
I was gonna
He
say, is that the
cannot-
same Sonny
he-
Gray?
Yeah,
he cannot. He obviously he is, in my opinion, my eyes tell me he's not a pressure guy.
Yeah.
You can't pitch in New York. Can't pitch in the playoffs. Guess what?
But didn't Zach Greinke used to be like that? Then he had. Then today, this year he was like 2-13.
Yeah, well, they lost Bueller.
Yeah.
Was it Walker Bueller? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Bueller,
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
And they lost.
May. They lost Dustin May.
Yeah, they've lost a bunch of pitchers.
Yeah.
So they went into it hurt, and then the layoff didn't help them at all because they didn't
Nope.
really hit either.
Well,
No.
Freeman
That's-
and Betts went 1 for 21. I mean, that is.
Mookie is something like 3 for his last
Yeah. It's,
like 36 in the playoffs.
I
or
think-
something.
you know,
the
you
home run
guys-
derby did him in.
you guys aren't Red Sox fans, but Red Sox have so many characters in the playoffs. With Schwarber, the Kiki Hernandez, JD Martinez decided to get, and they're all over the place.
Right.
Brazier pitching, it's just like, there are probably 7 ex-Red Sox in the last 2
You
years.
know, I think the Twins have been interesting to watch in the playoffs because the Twins could never get by the Yankees. Yankees just used to pound them in the playoffs
Right.
every year.
Yeah,
And they finally won a series, and they played Houston pretty tough.
yep.
And so they were kind of fun to watch.
Speaking of Yankees Red Sox, yesterday or today is the 20th anniversary of Zimmer being thrown to the ground by Pedro.
Yeah, well, he was defending himself.
Yeah, okay.
What's he gonna do, give him a hug? No, they just are saying that this was also the anniversary of, in '86, where the Angels blew the game against the Red Sox.
Donnie Moore.
Donnie Moore,
Threw it, pitch.
Henderson.
Dave Henderson.
Dave Henderson, and then somebody else hit one. Don Baylor hit one before, and it was back and forth, and so. Also, they're really going after Roberts in his managing last night, that he should have got Lance Lynn out so much earlier. He had 4 homers off of him, and
Yeah.
I think
In one inning. In one
you're
inning.
starting to find this whole, the analytics are starting to, everyone is, first of all, it's ruined the game of
Yeah,
baseball.
look at the 2 guys in the American League, if you like to watch the American League, which I don't. But look at the 2 guys that are in the championship series, Dusty Baker
Yeah.
and Bruce Bochy,
Bochy,
Yep.
yeah.
and neither one of them do analytics.
Well, that's why he got pushed out of San Francisco because, he wasn't, and they brought in Gabe Kapler,
Yeah.
how'd that work for him?
Well,
No.
he did
Kapler
as
screwed
good
up
a job as he did
Philadelphia.
with Philadelphia.
No,
Yeah.
it's interesting about how they, just saying that they had all these guys in the bullpen. And he was saying, well, I was really thinking about it, just let it play out. And you can't, and not in an elimination game,
Right.
you can't play it out.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees apparently had quite a knockdown drag out in the last week or so
That's good.
about this whole analytics department and
Yeah.
what it's really doing to
Yeah, well,
the team and the game.
who was the guy that pitched, fought, who pitched last night, and they took him out at 4 1/3. They stayed with him. This is what you're gonna do. We'll give you this many.
Twins, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's predetermined before the game.
Yeah,
This is what you
but
get.
other managers give you like, okay, you're like, it's a bullpen game.
I can remember more than once seeing Cole look at Aaron Boone and say, "You keep your butt in the dugout."
Yeah,
You know, you don't.
Or come on out here and talk to me. But
Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't work with Bob Gibson either.
No, I mean, there's certain things that just.
Well, and it's interesting that Texas must be out of its mind with both teams being from Texas.
Well, yeah,
It's going to be.
it's not quite the Subway Series.
No,
but
but
it's pretty cool.
Scherzer and Verlander.
Yeah.
They leave the Mets and they end up being in,
Oh.
in the division championship. And also part of the playoffs is Houston for 7 years.
In a row, championship
Have been in
series.
the
I didn't
championship
realize that. I heard that last
No,
week.
I just, yeah.
And you heard there was only one team that has done more.
It's the Yankees.
No, the Braves.
The Braves, yeah, in the
championship
90s.
series?
Yeah,
In the 90s.
because back then they didn't have championship series. Back in when the Yankees.
Yeah. Newsday ran an article today about what the Mets have to contend with, and they're looking at the two teams ahead of them. They can't. They're just, Buck Showalter said, do you agree with him being fired?
No.
Okay.
This is a classic, bring a guy in from another organization, he's gonna bring his own guy in.
Yeah.
That's,
And
he wants to bring counsel, but if not, if he stays with Milwaukee,
But I have to ask you a question. The two teams ahead of him. There's more than two teams ahead of him.
Oh, yeah, well, they're just saying,
Miami's out of
the two teams that are still in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's right.
because Miami, no one had them slated to.
No.
And you remember a couple years ago when they made the playoffs and they knocked Chicago off and.
Yeah, that's, we'll get to, we're gonna get to the, awards for the year. I think we can do the National League first, but, who do you think's MVP?
Acuna.
Okay, but, and it was at a time that Betts was close to it too, but I think Acuna's
Acuna.
done.
It's Acuna.
It's
Yeah.
They won, they had obviously the most wins.
Mhm.
Is it, did they break a record of some sort with the number? of
home
wins
runs,
they
I
had?
think, the number of home runs, I
runs,
think
yeah,
was.
But I think it's Acuna,
Cy Young, National League?
Strider.
Really?
I'm gonna
There's
have
a
to
lot-
agree with you.
A lot of talk about Blake Snell. Just his ERA and, that's a team.
I mean, Strider is the ace of that staff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And.
all right. No, it just,
And unfortunately, he's pitching tonight, so I'm not happy. about
nah, but he doesn't pitch well against the
Phillies.
Yeah, that's,
Good.
I
Thank
just
you.
made that up.
God
Managers?
That's a good question.
Schumacher
You got it,
No.
Skip Schumacher.
for the Miami?
Maybe. How do you not say it's Snitker though?
Because he has more to
Because
work with?
He had the defending World Series champs. You're not gonna,
Yeah.
because what,
You know,
No, they're
don't
not
don't
the
grease up the
defending-
Braves
they're
to
not
think it's gonna be.
Snitker for the Braves?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right, it's the Phillies. They
Because
won
the
2
Phillies
years
beat them
ago.
last year.
Yes.
Don't
Okay, Rob Thompson.
don't grease up the.
No, I'm gonna
the
go
Braves
Skip
'cause They're
Schumacher.
gonna take it easy on you tonight or something. Jesus. And Rookie of the Year?
That guy from Arizona,
Yeah,
Corbin
Carroll.
Yeah. He's a funny guy.
He's an unbelievable player.
How about that? How about the year?
Character, too, man.
The year the Dodgers knocked off the Diamondbacks and they jumped into the
Yeah, I saw
pool,
that.
and then so those guys jumped in last night, and he goes in with his cell phone like this as he jumps in. Because, like,
I
he
was
says, "Well, that's
I
a-"
was watching the Dodgers jumping in. I said, they lost. Why are they jumping in the pool?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's it.
And that was a replay of a couple of years ago.
MVP in the American League.
Ohtani, even if he went out injured near the end,
He certainly would have been, but.
Who else would have?
I don't think I watch enough American League games.
Yep, okay.
I think it just, his body of work when he was there, it just,
Yeah,
You know, there's got to be somebody because I'm gonna. Baltimore had an unbelievable year this year.
But
There's
it was
gotta
a
be
bunch of
somebody-
kids who.
But I don't
who
know,
all were equal parts. You had Adley Rushman, you had Henderson, you had a
Yeah.
bunch of them just all contribute. There wasn't a standout guy there that just
Who's Minnesota's,
Correa, but he was injured half
Correa.
the season.
see, I
Buxton,
I think-
I don't think he'll ever become the player everyone thought he was gonna be.
Well, I think, yeah, but you know what, the Mets had him, and they, I guess he would have played second, because Lindor was gonna play short, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Correa.
yeah.
Oh.
What's I gonna say about, before we go to the next, what do you think about Ohtani, and where will he go, and how much is he gonna get now that he can't pitch for another
I
whole
think
year?
if I were California Angel fan, or whatever they call them these days, I'd be furious with this franchise. They've had nothing for years. They got this spectacular player.
With Trout,
And then they're gonna get rid of him?
yeah, for nothing.
Well, he's gonna be a free agent. They better get the pocketbook.
It's going to cost someone a
They
lot.
better get the pocketbook out.
It's
Because
going to be a new high.
why would
400 million?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you have why would you be a fan of that team that's had these kind of players and don't ever do anything?
Right.
Yeah, I just,
They don't. put
Nevin's
enough
gone
people-
now.
Put enough people around them,
Okay.
so.
Cy Young.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett
Okay,
Cole.
all right, good, just checking, I think so.
And I don't know how many no decisions he had
Yeah.
that team
Yeah.
blew for him.
No,
I remember he blew one
pitched
against Tampa
way,
early in the season.
Zach Wheeler should have been the ERA, the
Last year.
Cy Young
You
award
still
for-
haven't forgotten
I'm
that.
still mad about
You
that.
see, I didn't want to bring that
I
up.
told you so,
It's
Alex.
in my notes.
It's
And then-
ridiculous.
I told you Corbin Burns last
Oh,
year.
here's
The
another Red
person that
Sox.
can pitch not even
Nathan
6 innings.
Eovaldi.
I'm not gonna go through
Nathan
the whole
Eovaldi is another one that the Red Sox did now. He's pitcher. He'll probably start that series with Texas. Manager of the year?
thing. Oh, it's gotta be the Baltimore guy.
Hyde.
Has
Yeah,
to be.
Hyde.
I don't
yeah,
even know
yeah,
what his name
okay.
is.
Yeah.
And
It has to be.
rookie of the year?
It hasn't been that one guy that you've been like, wow.
My feeling is it's Henderson from Baltimore.
Okay,
He's
could
really,
be.
he was terrific.
Played fantastic defense.
Yeah. And you've seen, he's just,
And they won, so that's fine, but I
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
know one name of a ball player on Baltimore, and they won.
And what's his name? The kid from
Earl
New York
Weaver.
will get some votes, but
yeah.
he was inconsistent, hit a lot of power.
Volpe?
Volpe.
Yeah, no, he's just good now.
He's 21 years old.
Right.
And he doesn't win it this year. I think by the time he reaches 25, 26, matures, figures out everything, I think he's gonna be really good.
You think, or you're wishing?
I think.
No, come on.
There's a lot, I mean, he hit
There's a
he hit
difference.
over
No.
20 homers as a
When your
as a
team's
rookie.
eliminated, you
Played-
think.
Yeah.
You're still wishing.
Yeah.
Who'd
No,
have thought
no, I'm praying.
Who'd have thought you'd catch this with crap with your team advantage still in it, though? You know what?
Hey,
We're jealous. How about the disappointments? I was thinking just, of teams of the Yankees. and the
Yankees
Mets.
were not even fun to watch
No.
all season. They
no,
were
and
not
and the Mets were, it's horrible.
just,
And
yeah,
look-
it's like,
Take a look at the baseball and football teams in New York this year.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's really.
It's terrible. And I look,
It's sad when you got to think about.
I like the Yankees a little bit.
There's only one
I don't like the
football
Mets at
team
all.
in New York. There's a couple in
Yeah,
Jersey.
New Jersey. Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
I thought they were in Canada.
And the Cardinals playing so poorly.
Oh,
That's
that's
amazing because the Cardinals probably do a better job than any team in their farm system. They
Right.
emulate what the major league team does, that they could fall on such hard times.
another team that has relied heavily on analytics. And
Yeah.
guess what?
Let me see what else I'm going to say.
Got other
And the
players.
Padres. Padres threw a lot of money around, and
yeah.
no,
Well,
But-
Xander.
Doing what they did, they got Kenny Wood's kid back to the East Coast.
Yeah, they traded him to
they've
Washington.
got, Tatis and Machado and
Bogarts.
Bogarts and Soto.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a better team? And they got
And-
Snell as a pitcher.
They've got Snell, they've got
Something's wrong.
Darvish.
there. Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it team chem?
It may be chemistry because Machado doesn't look like a team player to me. It never
No,
has.
and
And neither does Tatis.
No,
Yeah.
he's
I'm pissed off at Machado for.
Did you
taking
ever,
Justin
just
Pedroia
going to
out.
one quick moment, The one where Julio Rodriguez in Seattle caught that ball and Tatis thought it was a home run
Yeah.
and he's going into his trot and all this and finally Rodriguez holds the ball up. It was great. He was almost to third base.
So, there's a flaw in that team somewhere, because the talent is there.
Yeah.
But
Well, they're saying it's the same thing, well, kind of like what happened with the Dodgers. Dodgers really didn't have that great of a lineup after the fourth guy,
yeah,
so they really had.
but
to
I
be-
think the Dodgers, their starting pitching, it just killed them.
Yeah.
Didn't have a chance in the.
You know,
in
there
that
were
series.
3 games, and nobody went over 3 innings or 4 innings.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking, I just looked this up, in 2021, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, and the Rangers all lost 100 games. And look
at
where they are now,
Yeah.
so I don't know, it'd be interesting to really dive in and see how they built it up. And
Well, the
What-
Texas
what is
built it up with money.
Say it's Baltimore,
Diamondbacks
Diamondbacks.
and the Rangers.
Baltimore's farm
Fairly-
system without a doubt.
Yeah, fairly small market teams
Yeah.
too. You know, not big.
But Texas spent a lot of money.
And they didn't even have DeGrom, right?
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
have
see,
to
now
grind.
that's amazing, I mean, they, you
Why
know,
why in the world would you have any team sign DeGrom for a big number?
no.
It
Hey,
just
listen,
doesn't make any sense.
we got a half minute left. This has been a treat.
Right.
You know, let's, who do you want to win the whole thing? Obviously, the
Phillies.
Phillies. How about you?
Who do I want to see it? Anybody but the Astros.
That's the way I kind of feel. I don't know why. It's too bad. But yeah, I'm
No, they're
kind of,
tainted. You know, they're just tainted.
And you just can't, you can't,
It's like somebody
shake
in golf who moves his ball in the fairway. You can never trust him again.
Right.
No matter what he does, no matter if he goes to church
Yeah.
every Sunday.
Yeah.
You just can't ever trust him again.
all right. Thanks, guys.
All right, it was fun.
Good show.
Thank
yeah.
you, Claude.
Thanks. All right.
All right.
Thank you for listening. You can pick this up on YouTube if you want. If you got nothing to do, we'd be glad to sign your TV set after you're done. So.